Hello everyone. Today I wanted to show you my treble bleed circuit that I use on my electric guitars. For example, this Strat style guitar that I've used to record a few albums. And I've got examples here laid out, so I'm going to walk you through this. Okay, so I'm sitting here at the bench and I'm going to again talk about this Strat. This is the second one I built. The first one I built is up here. I took it down for refinishing, but it has the same electronics as this one. So here's the pick guard loaded. I've got a DiMarzio in the bridge position and I have a Wild L280 in the neck position. I need to order a white one, but I've had this pickup for probably, I don't know, 25 years or so. And I remember back when Bill and Becky got started, I would go to the shop and Bill would hand me a pickup. Just hand it to me, free, take it home. Try this out. That was cool. That was back in the 90s. Anyway, back to the treble bleed circuit. So I've got my circuit here. Back when I built this guitar, like I said, this was the first one that I built, and it was quite a while back. It's a bit sloppy in here. It works perfectly, but I added up the values that I was experimenting with at the time, and I did not have a full stock of resistors and capacitors like I do now. So back then I was experimenting and I added up these that I found that I've installed, and it came to 552 picofarads. And so nowadays I have a nice big stock and I could just use like a 560 right here that I have. Let's see, let me make sure that's 560. Yep, 560. So, sorry for the shaking there, I'm doing this one-handed. So anyway, you put this on your volume potentiometer to bleed treble circuits by. Now when you add a resistor to it, you get a bit of bottom end with it as well. And so in my case, I used a 270K resistor to couple with my basically 552, 560 picofarad treble bleed circuit. While I'm on the subject of purchasing all new components, I wanted to show you this real quick. Since we no longer live in the CD era, I reused a CD holder and I have all these resistor values that I store in order, and so I can quickly and easily reference these resistors that I need. I also use these storage type containers to store all my capacitors. So I have various style capacitors, metal film, ceramic, and so anyway, this is how I keep everything organized. Okay, I'm going to demonstrate this treble bleed circuit with 3 different amps. I've got a Marshall DSL100. I've got a Mesa-Boogie Mark Five. It's on 45 watts. It's so loud I can't put it on 90, pretty much. And then I've got over here a Fender tube amp. I can't remember what it's called. It's one of those Hot Rod DeVille, something Blues DeVille. It's one of those deals. Forgive me. It's right there. It's a cool amp. That's the one you hear right now first. So this is clean. This is my bridge pickup. I'm going to keep turning off the mic so that you don't get bleed over. Okay? I'm going to play some clean stuff and then I'll grunge it up. I'll change pickups too. You'll hear the difference of the pickups.
me just doing like blues, kind of 12-bar blues types of riffs for this. Maybe a little other kind of pop kind of chord changes. So here I'm going to do the neck pickup now. Okay, now I'm going to grunge it up. Okay, that sounds pretty good. You could tell the Fender really reacts a lot with those changes. So now I'm going to swap over to the Mesa-Boogie. Give me a sec. All right, here's the Mesa-Boogie. By the way, I'm going to play all three channels, channel 1, 2, and 3. Green, yellow, red, basically. That sounds pretty good. That's the hot channel red with the volume turned down a little bit. Here's it all the way up. Let me turn this off. And now this is with it turned down about a third of the way. Y'all getting tired of the key of A yet? Let me go to the Marshall now. All right, here we go. Marshall on the green channel. Bridge pickup. The Marshall behaves in such a way that I can actually turn the guitar down on this hot channel, down like 2/3 actually. and still have good full sound. Now I'm going to the neck pickup full, and then I'll bring it down. Getting creative there, writing a new song. I kind of prefer the Marshall's variable rate with the treble bleed. It behaves the best. I'll play a little more and I'll swap the pickups around. That's with the pot on 50% right there. It's still on 50%, but I switched to the neck pickup. I can also control it real well with touch sensitive. Okay, that's it.
So I'm back at the bench, and I wanted to share that I looked online. I saw StewMac has a 150K with a .001 microfarad, which basically is 1,000 picofarad. Mojo Tone has one that's 220K resistor with 471 picofarad capacitor. That second one is more like mine. This was my combo. 270K with 560 picofarad. So, and I'm using a ceramic cap with a 1/4 watt 270K resistor. So, final conclusions. So, playing this guitar with the Treble Bleed circuit, when I played through the Fender Blues DeVille Reissue amp, which is a tube amp, has lots of headroom. The Mesa-Boogie also has lots of headroom. Very loud amps, very clean sounding. On a very clean sounding loud amp, as those two, when I would turn the volume down, I would get a decrease in volume, not just in drive of each signal. Since Marshalls are more compressed signal, I didn't have as much of a volume drop, but I had a characteristic, a more subtlety kind of drop to it. So it just depends on what you're looking for. If you want a true volume drop, then you're probably going to be leaning towards Treble Bleed circuit with cleaner type amps. In the Marshall world, very tight compressed signal, then like I said, you won't get that much volume drop. You would actually probably have to use a volume pedal to bring the signal down lower. But what I liked about the Marshall is the tone, and kind of like, it's like the difference between yelling or speaking softly. With the Marshall, when you turn it down, you still have plenty of volume, but it can be more subtle and sensitive sounding. I hate to use that word sensitive, but it kind of has more touch sensitive to it. So, like I said, I love the circuit. I showed you my circuit. There's others out there. You can make your own. It's very easy to do. The hardest part, quite frankly, is taking your guitar apart. So if you don't know how to do it, other people can do it for you, repair shops, whomever, maybe electronics friends. The hardest part really is taking the strings off, quite frankly. With Fender style kind of Strat tremolo, it's easy because you just loosen the strings and you can pull your springs out, and then you just lift the bridge off. So anyway, you'll make it through. If you enjoyed this, please help the channel keep going. Please like, share, subscribe if you haven't already. And next time I'll catch you on another video. Maybe I'll go through just comparing amps without like Treble Bleed circuit, just overall just comparing amps. So thanks. Have a good one.